Nicole says, blogging since 2009. I know my target audience, I post regularly, and promote on all social. Numbers won't budge. Thoughts?
My advice personally is to keep at it. Like it's something that I literally do 7 days a week. There is not one day that I've taken off in the last 5 years. You have to just crush it. You have to just keep.
Did you ever get pushback to the word skinny? I mean, skinny is one of these new politically incorrect words like 3 years ago, and it's. You've wondered that? Yeah, great. So I'm answering the questions that it's interesting. You've been doing this for a while. I think you're actually in a better place where I don't think the word's as controversial. But 24 months ago, there was heat. Did you ever feel it?
All the time, but I like that. I like heat on me. The things I talk about on my blog are camel toes and boob jobs and vagina steaming and enemas. Like, I could go on and on. I talk about really controversial, taboo subjects that no one wants to deal with. So having the word skinny in the title is really fitting for the brand.
Understood.
I mean, when you're talking about coconut lube, the word skinny just
coconut oil
right
is amazing for lube, though. It really is.
I'm sure this is a tremendous show.
This is an experiment.
Everyone go home and try it. You will not be sorry. So, it's your birthday, D-Rock.
I think that there is one thing. I do think that there's the 3-4 years and then you have your moment. I mean, you look at it, it happens all the time in real life. Amy Schumer's career has been going on for a decade. She's been like, Kevin Hart was working at that shit for 12, 14, and you have your moment. The problem is, one thing that I want people to know is, it's not necessarily your numbers growing, it's how do you feel about it. Currently, my Snapchat numbers are not growing. I've hit my kind of 30,000 views, and I've been there for about a month. I feel fine with that because I feel like I'm getting better at it. I know what I want to do next. I know I've been studying on doing other things because the book has been coming out. Like, I feel content with myself even though that's against the numbers. Too many people, and this is, I'm sure, like something we all think about, you're gonna be thinking about it when you see the podcast numbers as you start this new venture. This market is absolutely way too deeply focused on numbers. Now, Nick and Demondo, like they're a platform, people buy on numbers. I get it. You make your short-term money on numbers. You make your short-term.
Not long game.
That's right. You make your short-term money on numbers. So I would say, who's the person again, India? Nicole. I would say if you feel like you're moving the needle, then and you feel like you're getting closer, if you can taste it, none of us can tell you, then you keep at it. If you're watching right now and you've been trying to build your brand for 24 months, 36 months, you felt completely stagnant, both in the numbers, both in the heat. You don't get recognized, less selfies, no mention, no friend even know you're doing it. If you feel stagnant, I actually compare this to wrestling. So stick with me. I don't know if I know you talk about coconut oil, but I'm gonna talk about WWF wrestling for a minute. When you look at gimmicks, right? Gimmicks is like when you're Mr. Perfect or the Red Rooster or what have you. There's a lot of wrestlers who have 3 or 4 gimmicks and then they become Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they've been 4 other things and it didn't take, but the new thing works. Now the difference there is that's a character. I could have stopped doing the wine thing and started a Jets thing and I could be on ESPN right now. Whatever, and then I did a business thing. I had 3 things that I could have probably done as me. Wine, business, and the Jets. Now I've done 2. I may become a sports writer. If you have other interests, if you're doing a blog about root beer or about skateboarding, but you're also into clothes or jam or rollerblading, if you feel very stagnant for 2 or 3 years, your system and your thing might be right, but your topic may be wrong to you. It may not be that moment in time. So that's another version to think about this if you feel in your heart and numbers a 24, 36 month stagnant, because I do see people, I know people right now, because I've been doing this since 06, who've been doing the same thing for 7, 8 years, and there's nothing that's gonna happen.
You always talk about talent.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
And interaction. I think interaction with people.
It is real. That you have to have talent. If you don't have talent in this industry, I think you are going to get washed away. So you have to know who you are, like you said. Like, you have to remain authentic to yourself. And if you think you have talent to be a blogger, then blog every damn day.
How long were you doing YouTube before this moment?
I started YouTube in like 2012, and then I was consistent this past August. And so I think you have.
What made you? What happened in August that made you get really going?
I was like, I want to build a business someday, and I know having an audience is valuable. And so I just started with travel vlogs. I love filmmaking. I love making videos. And so it wasn't hard for me because I love doing it. And I also think that interaction with people is so important. You can look at the numbers all day, but who is like mentioning you on Twitter? who is retweeting things, who is favoriting things, and maybe
Is Twitter an important platform for you?
Yes, it has been so interactive. I only have about 5,000 followers, but everyone is so interactive, and it's an awesome way to meet.
Do you interact with your YouTube comments?
Yes, okay, so glad you asked that question, because when I had 3,000 followers, I made it a habit to comment to every single comment. Every single comment. It's hard to do it now.
It's so crazy to watch you guys spur up from all the theses that I wrote 7, 8 years ago. It's so crazy.
I know. I read Crush It like recently, and I was like, holy shit, he predicted the future. Yeah. It is weird. Yeah. It is weird.
I'm telling you, I read that influencer chapter today in your new book, and it's refreshing to have somebody with such a loud voice say it, because it's what we have been thinking and working on and saying for 5, 6 years now.
Sure.
Tell them about what happened recently to me on a shoot, because you'll appreciate
Well, this kind of goes into like influencer marketing as well. A brand recently brought her on to offer her voice and her perspective, and it was a video thing, 4 videos, 30 seconds.
Yep.
They brought her in and they said, hey, you're going to stick to this script, you're going to do this thing. It had 15 people on set. They completely got away from her voice, and it was kind of like,
what's the point? Why do you want me if you're
but
not
I
gonna
got fired up about it, because I said this brand's on its way out.
No, it's on its way out.
And it made me fired up for her, because her brand's.
I know. I don't.
So what happened? Did you do it?
No, I did it. I did the script. I did what they said. But the point is they could have hired a model or an actress to just read it. They don't need a blogger. I'll never do it again.
Her voice
Ever.
and trying to get her audience, and
If they're not going to use my voice.
they had 15 people on there. We produced 6 of those videos in 3 hours with 3 of us.
They micromanage everything. I think brands need to let the influencer do what they do best.
Well, look what with Daily V. Like, it's literally D-Rock and Gary Vee. Like, and it works, you know? You don't have 5 people following you around.
The curated thing's out. I think it's on its way. It's so out. It's so done. It's
Well,
raw,
the
authentic.
bigger issue is that the people that follow you know that's not you.
Yes,
Exactly.
And that's why I don't want to do it.
and that's
It
why
turns
there's
them
no
off.
that's right, and there's no money that they can pay you
Yep.
that makes it worth it for you.
Yep.
I mean, I had early deals for Wine Library TV before this was a real thing, and a car company wanted me to drive a car into Wine Library, and it was so wild. It was so early days, and I was like, and it was a lot of money at the time, and I didn't do it because even then, back in 07, 08, I was just like, I think people are gonna be like, forget it, like Gary sold out. That was so scary.
I don't see
It's so
working
different
well
now.
with brands.
I don't.
It's a little bit more
That's what I
accepted
thought.
now, but we refuse to sell ad space on the site. You go to the
Yeah.
site, there's no.
Now, forget. By the way, if I grew up during this time, I would have done it. Like back then, it was just so. There was not a single video on YouTube that had 1 million views when I started.